How's it going, man? I feel like we just talked.
It's like 20 minutes ago. I'm doing good right now, man. Just waiting
Thanks for
for
having us,
everybody
bro.
else. Yep. It's always a pleasure to have somebody on here, not gonna lie. It's
Yeah, man, we
difficult.
love the videos.
It's definitely difficult all the time, but I'm just glad that everybody's pretty patient with like getting schedules aligned with each other.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, with three of us kind of living in three different places, we're a little spread out, but yeah, we should be able to make this work. And yeah, we love the videos, man. Appreciate what you're doing to put the scene on.
Yeah, man. I was actually
There he
surprised
is.
that I was actually surprised I didn't know all of you guys didn't live in Denver.
Yeah, well, those guys both are in Denver.
Yo,
I'm just a little bit further out. What up, dude?
let's see. Do I
Let
have
me
a
see that
camera?
face.
I might have to do this off my phone. I might. I don't think my computer has a camera. All right,
Oh,
give me
word.
one sec.
The voice of Hoodie.
The voice. What's up, yo?
What's up, man?
Yeah, that's fine. I think you can
Hold up.
rejoin
Yeah, I'll be
if
right back.
you.
Yeah, I'm just man. I need coffee. Like I need coffee bad. Like it's either that or I'm about to start fucking doing really bad things right now. So let's just let me get some coffee real quick.
Word.
There we go.
This is so funny, man.
Yeah, bro. You should see us on tour.
Man, I really wish I could have gone on tour with you guys. It was just work was just busy.
Well, yo, we're gonna be back in Baltimore. I don't know if you're gonna be there for that one, but that'll be sick.
Yeah.
We can talk about that a little bit. There he is. What up, Devin? Feel like we're all about to go in on like some gaming or some shit right now.
It's like we're entering the lobby right now.
Yeah, exactly. Awaiting.
My phone doesn't have a headphone jack apparently, so I'm gonna see if I can run my mic through my computer. But video. I went to plug my headphones back into my computer and I hit the fucking power button. So I'm waiting for it to turn back on.
All right, you're gonna have to do something about that light behind you. It's fucking bright.
Well, if I set it up like this,
It looks like you're an angel.
is that okay?
That's fine. Whatever works. How you doing, Danny? What have you been up to, bro?
Just life in general. Like I think we've probably been over it before. Like I've just been hella busy when it comes to work and just looking for a new job in general. But besides that, just work. I already finished school and everything. But I'm just working on music and also just working on the videos in general.
Nice. And so you live in Baltimore or Washington D.C.? Where are you at?
I grew up and been raised in Baltimore my whole life. It's basically like my playground or like my backyard at this point. Just born and raised.
Yeah, nice. What's the vibe right now, bro? That bridge is crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy because I think the only person that actually reached out to me because he actually knows that I'm from Baltimore was Enokalypse. And he was like, yo, you guys okay? And I said I was wondering what he was talking about because I mean I didn't post for a minute and I thought that's what he was talking about, but then he talked about the bridge in general and I was like, yeah, I live like 20 30 minutes away from it and it was just crazy that it just collapsed in general. Like I didn't know until somebody actually messaged me about it, but
that shit's wild.
It's crazy. They're just trying to recover as many people as they possibly can.
It's crazy.
We've had like the mayor on like many different news outlets and everything, but he's just worried about the people in general, like getting rescued and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you use that bridge like on the regular, or is that like a main?
I use it like
point?
when I travel. I use it like when I travel, which is like maybe once or if not twice a year. But they use it a lot when it comes to like supplies, especially when it comes to like food. People coming from Delaware and people coming from, in some cases, even Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Oh,
There's
word.
a lot of people that use that bridge a lot. So
Yeah, that shit was crazy as fuck, bro.
If I keep it on my phone like this, can you guys hear yourselves?
Yeah.
we're
I
good. We're
can hear
good. Like
you.
it's not
I can hear
echoing
you.
at
I
all.
can't hear me through you.
It's all right. You guys can hear yourself with your own ears in your own room, right?
I was saying I can't get it to run through my computer and phone, and I don't have like Bluetooth headphones or some shit that I can hook up to my phone. So I think I'm gonna have to do it like this.
All right. Yeah, this works if it works for you, Danny.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you guys again. Like you said earlier, it's really difficult for all you guys to actually be able to do this. So this is actually the first time where it's like more than one person, besides like the Infinite Wave crew in general. But this is like the first time where it's like multiple people in different locations. So like I said, appreciate you guys for just having the time in general because I know we've been trying to schedule this for the longest time in general. So Appreciate you guys for doing this again.
Shout out technology.
Yeah, big shout out technology. So what's everybody's before I get started with all the questions and everything, can you guys introduce yourselves basically, like one by one?
Yeah, go for it. Win, you start.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Win Imperivm. That's the most Caucasian way I could have done that. Yeah, I go by Imperivm. I'm from South Louisiana originally. I live in Denver now. Helped start Phonk Around and Find Out with Devin. Then Corey got involved, and it's been up from there.
Yeah, I'm Devin. Go by Hoodiemane. I grew up in middle of nowhere, Wyoming. Moved to Denver like right after I graduated. Win and I linked up one day. We're talking about Phonk, talking about how we wanted to do a show. Came up with the name and whatnot. Decided to reach out to Corey. Corey was like super about it, and kind of everything has just been history from there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm Corey Wasabi Jackson. I grew up in the middle of nowhere as well, but in Colorado. made my way to Denver, and been in this music scene for a long time there, and got to know these guys. Saw Win playing a show one time, was super into his music. We kind of started chatting there. Hoodie as well, kind of maybe more like in the bass realm, I guess, for a little bit. And then we kind of all just linked up, and we started Phonk Around and Find Out. That's been like 2.5 years ago almost now. We started doing a monthly at the Black Box, and then we kind of just expanded out from there. We started doing some bigger shows with like Sudier, Vamp, back when, Ryan Celsius, anybody we could get really. And then, from there, it's just kind of grown, and it's been really fun, man. Now we're doing like takeovers, and did a tour last summer, as you know. I think that's when we first met you, Danny.
Yeah.
And we just really appreciate what you're doing for the scene to put it on the map, and we're just trying to do our part to do that as well.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Like, I'm gonna say it multiple times, because if it wasn't for any of you guys, I wouldn't even know if there would be any type of shows, any type of scene, or when it comes to like live shows or any tours in general. But I appreciate you guys for doing this again.
There's La Fonquerie over in France or wherever they're at, but other than them, I don't think there's really anybody else out here doing it.
Yeah, besides like La Fonquerie and Infinite,
and then
guys,
like Infinite Wave.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Like from the scene, like you have one-off shows when it comes to like Ryan's team and everything, but that's basically all you hear from anybody in the scene when it comes to like live shows. So I was gonna ask, to date, how's the growth been since, I would say, the first year to actually now? Corey said earlier it was 2.5 years ago that you guys basically started Phonk Around, and you guys had Ryan as like one of your top headliners for the 1-year anniversary. So how's the growth been since the actual beginning of Phonk Around and Find Out?
I'll take this one, I guess, guys, if that works. We'll kind of bounce around here, but it's been cool, man. Like the interesting thing is Phonk, it's a lot older than 2 years old, right? So this is a crew that kind of came together to push it. With a lot of stuff already established before that. But I would say since we started, there's been a noticeable uptick in interest in the live shows for sure. And that's been refreshing as we've done these live shows to see that people are interested in coming out. And the shows have gotten bigger. We started in a small room that was like 100 cap basically. And then worked up to some bigger rooms, 300, 400, 500 people. And now we're kind of just bouncing around doing what works in each city where we go to. But I think the scene as a whole has been growing that whole time, and having live shows has encouraged a lot of the producers to start DJing. And that's kind of been our goal here, is to put this into a live setting, because obviously it existed before Phonk Around existed, on the internet, on SoundCloud, everywhere else that it kind of got its roots going. I don't know, what do you guys think? Win, you guys got anything to chime in?
I would honestly say like the growth has been huge, honestly. Like when we first started, at least like people I know, nobody really knew what Phonk was, but now I have like random homies from the bass music scene that are like reaching out, and they're just like, bro, I keep hearing people talking about you guys. I see your guys' name everywhere. Like, I think, kind of like you said, nobody really knew what it was before we started. And now like people are requesting us to go to all these different cities. Like they want more of it. So I don't think you could really have much more receptiveness than that, honestly.
Definitely. Like I was going to say, after Win answers, I was going to say that it was crazy the fact that you guys actually did a tour, because I never heard that before happening ever, especially when it came to this type of music, this type of style, just anything in general. Like it's been unheard of before. Like you see shows in Texas, you see shows over in Europe, but for the first time, like you guys bought an actual tour and had multiple people that a lot of people don't know, but you brought them all together in one aspect to either perform at a different city or just bring them to fly them out to Denver. It's just this is something that's never happened, and we're actually probably making history from this video or this call in general.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Win, what do you got, Win? I know you got something to say. You always got
Yeah,
something
I
to say.
mean, like, I'm surprised you didn't hit on it, but I'm sure this is the time old parallel is that like we're like fucking dubstep back 15 years ago, in America, like, and it took a little bit for that to take off, but once it did, it was rabid, and like we're doing the same thing, and it's a different passion for me personally doing this because like, I've fallen into this niche, and now I'm like, I find Phonk and like, I found like the community of people that I wanted. These are the droids we're looking for, like, and it's just been a really nice breath of fresh air, refreshing, if you will, to encounter like so many good fucking people in this community that are receptive to it, receptive to the live shows, want to come out to the live shows, want to support shows on tour, want to start talking about it, bringing up our names, like, oh, I know you, like, you're this guy, like, you do this, and it's like, oh shit, like, we are making waves, and it's just, it is pretty like surreal for me personally, but I couldn't be happier to do it.
Yeah, man, like, honestly, like, exactly how you said it, I'm actually surprised because just like the amount of people that are in good faith when it comes to the name or the actual genre, it's just shocking because I'm like, I've been all like not skeptical, but it's like people talk so much bad about the music industry in general, but it's like a breath of fresh air, like you said earlier, to like know so many people that want to see this genre grow when it comes to both live scenes as well as the music in general.
Yeah, I want to just add something there too. I think a big part of it is that it's so fresh, right? Like the dubstep scene, most of these EDM scenes are like, they're fucking rinsed at this point, man, and everybody's like trying to have the most followers and trying to chase the clout and all this shit, and that happens everywhere. But like, I think we're in a really cool spot with Phonk right now where people are just happy that there's live shows going on. People are happy to like meet other producers they may know from the internet and be in the same room as them, and I think that really helps with that. Everybody's hungry, and yeah, there's just like, it's like collaborative instead of competitive, and I think anybody that is doing this really is stoked when they hear about somebody else doing it. So like Infinite Wave, for example, those guys, like, we didn't know them personally really, besides through like SoundCloud and shit, but they've become the homies and they're doing really cool shit, and you got to band together with people that are doing it because there's not many people doing it. And yeah, I think as opposed to those other scenes that are super saturated, this is still really fertile and there's a lot of room for growth. And yeah, we're just happy to kind of help push that along.
Yeah, going back to like different, like name dropping, like the one person that I know that I talked to previously, and you guys already know who he is Enokalypse. Like, he's the first person to say multiple times it's the table is full, or like the table is big enough for everybody to eat at it. There's no reason to be competitive in this community in general because we all know somebody or we all want to meet somebody. Why not just help each other out at the end of the day, because this community is really, really small and there's a lot of growth that we're probably not seeing right now, but we're making it step by step, like day by day.
Yeah,
it's also just been like an internet genre for such a long time, internet community. Like, it hasn't really had a live setting or much to like grow from other than just the internet, and like because of that, like, it's kind of, we'd be working backward if anybody was trying to gatekeep each other and shit, like, it works way better for the whole scene if we all push each other and all put each other on, because then we can spread out to like where everybody is. Like, there's just no reason to work against each other right now, or really ever, in my opinion, but you know how music works.
Yeah, definitely. So how did you guys actually connect with one another? I know you guys like talked about it and when you guys introduced yourself, but who basically initially started the idea and how did you guys meet each other hand in hand?
So like Devin and I go back when we were trying to make bass music, like back in 2018. Like, that's how Devin and I know each other. And then Corey being manager of Black Box, so it's like, it was just this weird triangular friendship, like Corey, we all knew Corey didn't really know Devin,
So I never met Corey until we started this, honestly. Like, that first show might have been my first time ever actually meeting Corey.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So and then go for it.
Win, you can't forget the classic story of me asking for your music and you telling me to go buy it.
Yeah. So I played the show at the Black Box, forget my USB there. I'm freaking out. It's like 4 a.m. or some shit, and Corey's still awake as he is. And I message him like, "Yo, I forgot my USB," and he's like, "That's fine. I'll keep it as long as I can rinse it." And I'm like, "Dude, whatever. Keep it safe. Like, you can have everything on it." twice. I don't care, you know. And like, then my shit's name your price on Bandcamp, and then like the next day, I'm getting all these emails. That somebody's buying my music on Bandcamp. It's name your price, and he's got my USB. That's fucking love right there, man.
You got to support the homies, all right? It's not much we get out of these streams and these downloads, right? But yeah, I mean that's it basically. Like we had all been adjacent, right? In the music scene there, and yeah, like the other one was like Win was playing a show, and I like saw him from the side, and he was playing that the fucking day and night flip that I still love and still play sometimes. And yeah, I basically like asked him for that tune too, and he was like, "It's all on Bandcamp." so yeah, shout out Win for like telling me to fuck off politely, you know, because it led to all this.
Man, that's
as far as like Phonk Around starting though, I had made a post on Facebook. I didn't like know really anybody who was into Phonk, or at least not that I knew of. So I posted on Facebook like, "Hey, do any of my producer homies like, do they enjoy Phonk? Want to make some?" And Win had commented, and he's like, "Yeah, like come to the studio, let's make something." So I showed up, and we were just sitting there talking about it. And I was talking about how, like, you know, like this would be so cool in a live setting. Like I would love to hear this, specifically at the Black Box at the time, because I was like, it's one of my favorite venues. But I was just thinking about how cool it'd be to do a show. And Win had said that he knew Corey, so he hit Corey up, and Corey was all about the idea. And coincidentally, like within like a week before Win hitting him up, Corey was at a show, and he played a Back When track. And Back When happened to be there and ran up to the stage and was like, "Yo, bro, like this is my song." And so they kind of connected on that. So that's kind of what gave us like the hookup with Back When. And he's like done a lot of our artwork, like helped us connect with a lot of artists. Like Back When's a real one. Shout out that boy.
We'd be remiss to mention Back When.
I would say he's like the unofficial fourth member of Phonk Around and Find Out, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. And he really was instrumental in like giving us some cred early on with some of the bigger names in the scene to get them out to Colorado, and to kind of trust what we were doing, because obviously with his background with Purple Posse and everything he's done for the scene like since day one, he's been a huge asset to us. And yeah, I just can't say enough good things about Beck. We love you, bro. Shout out Beck. Back When. The GOAT.
Back When is an absolute legend, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's actually 100% true, man. Like 100% chill, always in trust Back When.
Yeah, well, for
like,
sure.
You know, like piggyback on that, right? Like, you know, so yeah, there's the history lesson of how Phonk Around got started. And very specifically, Corey was not only stoked, Corey replied with, "Bruh." That's the actual response. But yeah, no, I mean, again, going back to like what I was saying earlier, the funk scene being so cool, like we're rubbing elbows with Back When. Like what? Like that's how it all got started. And we started like that, you know, and then we got to become friends with all these people. And now like all these people that are in my playlists are my friends. Like, it's
unheard of. It's unheard of.
Yeah. It's been wild, man. And I mean, back to what we were saying earlier, like 99% of the people we've worked with have been super chill, like down to earth, super hungry and happy that there's something like this going on. And yeah, that's it. It starts with Back When and these guys, you know, I was super stoked to start something new, and these guys, you know, really were already ingrained in the scene, and yeah, we just went from there, you know, try to bring a little bit of like industry insight into things to help us navigate stuff. But yeah, we're all producers and DJs ourselves, so it was just kind of a natural fit.
Yeah, man. And going back to the point, I never expected, like Win said, I was gonna say, I never expected to rub shoulders with these people. Like personally, I never, like, my favorite artists are Eric D, Back When, Sudier, Vamp, Imperivm, like all those people, like I can message them, they could just reply back in like a day, and it's like, it's crazy because 3 years ago I listened to their music and now I know who they are on a one-on-one basis. It's kind of crazy. Like I never expected that to actually happen in my life at all.
Yeah, man. So super sick.
It's crazy like what this actually came from, like just one simple message or one simple DM from one person, and now look at us now, like a couple years later, and we're just starting something that we're probably gonna have something in the future that's a lot bigger than what all of us can actually anticipate or expect.
I mean, honestly, shout out Corey for taking the chance on us too, you know, because I don't think any of this would have happened had Corey not been down to like help us set that show up and like keep shit running. Like he definitely knows the business side of how this all works and whatnot, and has given us a lot of like guidance and insight on how to, like, especially the tour and stuff like that, you know, like we don't really have a lot of experience doing that, but he set up plenty of shows being manager at Black Box for such a long time, so like he just knows the in and outs of the business side.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice to have
it
a
takes
partner
all three
like
of us.
It takes
I think,
that
I
And
team.
think
then Win and I, you know, like Corey knows the scene too, but Win and I spend all our time just listening to music. We just know who's out there.
Okay, so going back on that question, so what's everybody's experience and background in the music industry, specifically like when it comes to booking talent and DJing? Because that's one question I wanted to ask you guys, because it seems like every single show that I go to, you guys are always on the card. Even though you're running the show, you guys are always on the card, and you always have solid sets to just get the show rolling.
yeah,
I think
go ahead,
Corey's probably
Win.
the most experienced out of us, but you know, like I got started back in 2011, fell asleep at the wheel, engine block came in, crushed my femur, I should have died. And then I was like, I'm gonna be a DJ, you know, like in my recovering bed. And so that's when I got started, and I was like, I'm gonna throw parties. And so like I decided to start throwing parties in Lafayette, Louisiana. And so like now it's just like kind of coming full circle. Like now I'm back throwing parties again. But to me, the whole ethos of it was never like, it's not about us three individually. Like, we all have our own individual careers and we all have our own shit going for us. But like, the whole point of the event and doing it was putting other people on. That's why we put ourselves on, like, namelessly, opening up, you know, whatever. And that's slightly changing now, and probably as it should, maybe. But the whole point of it was never to expose ourselves with these other people. It was to spotlight these other people, and then, you know, like, be a part of that, foster that. So like that's my experience throwing parties. But definitely, like, I would say Corey's probably got the most out of us all, literally.
Yeah, well, I'm an old motherfucker, you know. I've been around for a minute, but yeah. And I mean, to his point, like, it's the sum of the parts, you know what I mean. And my industry insight wouldn't get us here without their scene knowledge, you know what I mean, and their connections. So yeah, we always say it's like it takes all three of us, and we wouldn't have it any other way, you know. I think it's good that we have some different skill sets. I think it's good that Win's loud as fuck and that Devin barely says anything. I think it's good that I can, like, whip these guys into shape if needed. But yeah, ultimately we're friends. We love the music, and we found an opportunity to build something, you know. So it's all happened really naturally. I've done several things in the music industry, and since I got to go at 10:30, I don't even need to go into all of it. But yeah, I worked at venues, booked shows, Colorado, Hawaii, in between. You know, been playing for a long time, and really just yeah, you know, like a lot of people, like a fan first, and then you know, I went to college for music business. I've wanted to do this for a long time, but it kind of took me a long time to figure out exactly what and navigate it. Still figuring it out, but yeah, this has been a good role for me where I can kind of help manage things and keep things on the tracks. And yeah, it's been cool, man. I feel like we're honestly just getting warmed up, and there's a ton of stuff ahead. So yeah, that's kind of the quick background. And you know, Devin, what you got going up in Wyoming? Any music business?
None whatsoever. So I moved to Denver 2018, and honestly I didn't know anybody. I had just started using Ableton, like I was just teaching myself. I didn't know shit about shit. But there was this bass artist, Mystic Grizzly, who was playing his first ever show out here, and he posted on Facebook in like his fan group, like, who's got a house I can do an after party at. So I commented and was like, do it at my house. And that's how I actually ended up meeting Win and like a whole bunch of other producers out here, just throwing that after party. And, you know, ended up linking up with them quite a bit. They taught me how to do stuff. I ended up living in one of their garages for a while. Like, he's the one that taught me how to DJ. Like, I spent a whole summer, basically. I'd come home from work, I'd be the first one home, so I'd just spend a couple hours mixing before everybody else got there. Played some local shows. Honestly, nothing major. Like, I really wasn't doing a whole lot up until Phonk Around to Find Out, honestly. I kind of fell out of bass music. My favorite EDM artist unfortunately passed away, Charles I, rest in peace, legend. But that just kind of, you know, like, just made it hard to like put my whole like heart into the scene after your favorite artist dies, you know. It's just like, that shit sucks. And then like I started listening to a lot of funk. Like, COVID hit, I was stuck inside all day every day, so I was just like running up a lot of funk, and I just kind of fell in love with the genre. Found Purple Posse, Always Proper, Holy Mob, like Unlisted, you know, all the collectives. Went down the rabbit hole, looking through followers of followers of followers, like, just finding artists.
So you guys already talked about it earlier, and I'm gonna just ask the question again. It was specifically like how you guys actually were spinning and you found back when, and he was like, yo, this is my shit, and then you guys started this entire journey in general. It might be a repeat answer for all of you guys, but why funk out of every single genre?
Well, for me, like, I was always a big fan of lo-fi, and like I love rap music, but in my personal opinion, like mainstream rap music these days is ass. Like, it's more catered around like the rapper themselves and the image and the money than the music, you know? Whereas funk like adds music to rap, in my opinion. Like, not all mainstream is rap is bad, but a lot of it, like, I just think the beats are ass. So like I like listening to good funk on a good beat, or good rap on a good beat, I should say. But also then, you know, you have artists like Cloudbug who kind of have that old school style where it sounds like they're like looping like certain parts a cappella, switching it up, like adding like the different movie samples and shit. Like, it's just such an interesting genre. It's so creative, and the fact you can just sample like whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was probably drawn to it because I remember finding trap in like 2013, and like I was like, what the fuck, this exists, and I loved it, and that's what I wanted to do. Then I got into lo-fi, and I was like, man, lo-fi and trap would be tight. And then I find funk, you know. So like it just kind of worked out for me that it was like, it took a little while, but I finally found it, and I'm happy I did. And, you know, being from the South, growing up on rap, you know, like Ludacris Word of Mouth was one of my first CDs. Like, I've still got Chicken and Beer, the CD, you know, like the Crime Mob CD, like just all this old shit, you know, like it's roots shit for me, you know. So
yeah, it's kind of the same thing, or maybe a combo of both. Like, was really into the lo-fi scene, making lo-fi beats. Always been a fan of hip hop and rap, and loved trap until it kind of got like annoying and it just like went a little too far. So funk just seems to have like that perfect balance of all those things, but with a little restraint. You know, it's not like so hyphy. It can be, but yeah, kind of like more on the chill side for some of the stuff, you know, I gravitate towards. And yeah, that's led to Wave and all these other kind of things that are kind of adjacent to it. And yeah, we're just kind of trying to bring it all together in a way that's cohesive and makes sense.
Yeah, man. Okay, going back to like how you guys met, this is actually going to be in order. So I met Win, or Imperivm, first through his Sunday streams. That's actually how it was literally, I remember right after I was with Lil Rocket Man, or Alec, basically. He dropped me off at the airport. It was like the middle of, it was probably like Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what specific day it was, but I remember I shared the story of me being at the Black Box, and then instantly for like a solid 2 hours while I was waiting for my flight, we were messaging each other. It was like, yo, I'm live streaming like this weekend. It's like, if you're down to hop in, like you can do that. And then from that's how I met each and every single one of you guys. I met Hoodie and Wasabi at the Baltimore show, and that's basically how this journey started for me. And like, this is how the call, I guess how the call started in general. So how's it been actually connecting with different artists? And a follow-up question after that is, how did you guys actually handpick the newest residents? Because I think it's less than a dozen artists that you actually have in your roster, basically.
Yeah. You know, that kind of came out of, so we have an agency now as well. That kind of came out of necessity, because agencies aren't picking these guys up yet, you know what I mean? But there are people requesting them, you know? So I just thought it might be a good idea to kind of bring everybody together. But that came out of people that we had booked for the night, you know what I mean, or brought out for shows. And so, yeah, I mean, like, we've gotten to meet a lot of people through booking them, you know what I mean? And then as we were booking them, we were kind of taking notes on who could DJ and, you know, who was kind of active, and, you know, everybody's got their own thing going on, but we've kind of handpicked the people that we think are doing the most, you know, and people that can represent the crew in a live setting as well as with their output and their productions. And yeah, I mean, it's been cool to see it grow. And I think 11 or maybe 12 if I include myself on the roster. And yeah, we got people in Denver, we got people on the West Coast, people on the East Coast, you know, and everything in between. So that's been cool to see that grow, and that's just kind of an extension of the night, you know what I mean? It's just another thing we can do to push the scene and help these guys out.
Yeah. So next question, like last post I remember seeing, and this way before you guys actually talking about the shows that you're gonna do, which we could get to in a second, but you actually added Chris or Bad Kids to the actual roster.
Yeah.
And that's actually really huge. That's actually something that honestly was surprised about, because he just like basically his journey just started like when you guys actually started the Phonk Round and Find Out shows, especially like specifically the 1 year. That's basically his journey, and he got so much better within the first 6 months I actually met him, and to see him on the roster, it's without a doubt, I'm actually really proud that he's actually able to do that, because seeing his first show versus him actually performing at that Baltimore show with Vaughn and Backwin and Ryan is just surprising, because neither of us expected to have this happen in less than a year, let alone be on possible tours or possible future shows with each other.
Yeah, man, he's sick. He's I mean, him and St. Pond are like, you know, you guys are kind of lone wolves out there. Like, there's not, like, we've got a squad. Like, I didn't even touch on the residents, right? Like, we've got the agency artist, and then we've got our residents in Denver, you know, some guys that are local, and people that are supporting us in Denver, maybe still kind of waiting to get to that next level. And yeah, it's tough if you don't have like a group around you or people to lean on or to get that feedback from. So I think bringing him in has been a good move. You know, we've done some shows with him. We've got a couple coming up with him. And yeah, just personally, I just think he's earned it. You know, like, his music is amazing, and he's got a good attitude, and he's trying to progress his craft, you know, so that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely.
He's definitely also been trying to like help us like find connections and set up other shows and stuff too. You know, he's like actively been involved on trying to set shows up, which like shows that like, you know, if you're willing to like help us out, that's even a more like reason to like get you on the team. We're trying to have people who actually want to help us push all this, not just get a free ride off what we're doing, you know. So like anybody like who's involved is because they've been like pushing us, talking about it, like trying to help us set shows up, like just being consistent with what they're doing and their brand and everything.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm guessing that's sort of the same boat with everybody else that you actually recruited to be a part of the residents, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, like I feel like with the residents piece, and you know, here in Denver, you know, it's like we are privileged. We're very privileged in Denver. Any musician in Denver is privileged, you know, with the ability to be able to do shows and stuff. So the local people who live in Denver do get to eat a little bit with us and whatnot whenever we do things, just simply due to geographic location. But, you know, I will say, like, everybody on the roster has earned it and has impressed not just us, but the community before coming to Phonk Around. And so like it just made sense, and like we break down the barriers. I don't give a fuck if you're on part of the mob, if you're AP or part of the posse. Like, I don't care. Like, we just want unifying together for a goal, you know, and that is to push this genre.
Yeah, man. So next question, and well, it's not a question, but if you guys want to talk a little bit about the upcoming shows, because we did talk about Baltimore being a future show, and any other shows that you guys want to talk about really quickly.
Yeah. So we've got right now we're staying busy, and as we're doing more of these, we're getting more interest from other people. So it's been kind of nice to see that momentum get going. Our next one's in Fort Collins. That's out here in Colorado. That's going to be April 13th, and that's with the Hummingbird Productions crew. They've been doing, I think it's a monthly, pretty consistent events up there. And they actually did our stage design for the 2-year anniversary at Cervantes. So we met them there, and they crushed it. Really easy to work with. Super solid guys, super solid crew. And we've been kind of talking about it ever since then. So yeah, we're gonna do that one April 13th, and we're bringing Vaughn out for it, which will be good to get him back in Colorado. And then we got Shelter on it too, which is great because we've been working on that for a minute, kind of indirectly. But what do you know? Vaughn invited him out, and he said yes. So shout out Vaughn for connecting the dots there. That's gonna be a good one. And actually, Chris is gonna be out in Denver then, so we got him on the lineup. We just kind of stacked it up. But yeah, that's going to be the next one. And then a couple weeks later, April 25th in Baltimore, that's at the Rockwell. That's with the Thunderground Thursdays crew, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And that connection came out of the first stop on the tour, actually, in Baltimore. So we're really excited to get back out there. Like, we had a blast in Baltimore, and really fuck with the scene and the people there. So that's going to be a good one. We got Everest coming up for that one. We're giving him his first headline gig. You know, he's been putting in work, kind of a younger guy, but really been putting a lot of stuff out. And yeah, he basically learned to DJ like some of these other people, and you know, he's gotten pretty good at it. So we're going to have him come up, and then we'll all be doing solo sets. All these shows we're going to be doing solo sets, you know, just to kind of spread things out a little bit more. And then the next one after that would be May 18th. in Dallas, and that's with the Infinite Wave crew, which we mentioned them earlier. And these are all online, these are all announced, so you guys can check out the lineups. But that one's a doozy, man. Like we got Back When headlining, we got Ponsuda, Rocket Man, us three. It's gonna be sick. And there's also a special guest on that one, so we'll reveal that when the time comes. But yeah, that's gonna be a big one, and that's at a place called Green Elephant, which is actually a really well-known club down there, bringing in Function One sound for it. You know, we're really trying to pull out all the stops with production on these shows when we can. And yeah, shout out the Infinite Wave crew for being like partners and affiliates with through all this, whether it was the tour or this. So yeah, I just got my tickets this morning, boys. You better get your tickets to Dallas.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I need to start looking at plane tickets.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's the quick and the dirty of the shows coming up. We're working on some other stuff too. Ultimately, would love to do some stage takeovers or some slots at festivals, where even just a back-to-back or whatever. But yeah, as people find out more, we're here to show them what's good.
Yeah, definitely. And follow-up question, and this is going to be something that I've talked about before, and I've talked about in other videos. This is two-parter. So are there any talks on there being a future tour in the next coming years? And also, is there any idea of there possibly being a funk festival? Because I've talked about that being my overall goal for seeing or just attending a funk festival in general.
Yeah, I mean, the tour thing is being talked about for sure. I mean, I think ever since the end of Underground tour was over, we've all been wanting to go back on tour. So the desire's there, right? We just got to make it all work. You know, for that tour, we ended up like putting on a lot of those shows, which was cool, you know, but it has its pros and cons, and you know, I'd say most every show did well, and we you know, it was worth it, but it's also a big investment to do that. So at this point, we're trying to look for people that are more down to like co-promote and put the shows on themselves, and that's kind of where we're going with these takeovers. But yeah, stringing some dates together like that is pretty much the best way to do that. And yeah, we've been in touch with Ryan's team. He's been amazing to work with, and I think there'll be some more stuff coming out of that. But right now, we're just kind of focusing on the one-offs and the takeovers, and you know, getting back to some cities we went to on the tour, and also getting into some new ones that we weren't there for. As far as a festival, obviously would be amazing. I think it would probably start with more like getting acts onto some of these festivals and kind of getting our foot in the door that way. You know, if a tour is expensive, a festival is fucking outrageously expensive. It's just hard to do these things by yourselves, you know. So we're doing what we can. We're trying to show people it's worth investing in, and yeah, we fully believe in it. So whether other people do or not, we're going to be doing it. But you know, we got to do what we can within our means, basically.
Anybody else want to chime in on their thoughts of there possibly being another tour or festival?
I mean, I think it's, you never say never, right? Like everything is non-zero, right? So, but with as far as like a festival, you know, I've got a homie here who's chirping the same thing, like Funk Festival will be tight, and it's like, yeah, it would be so sick, but baby steps. And I think you know, Corey's right. You know, like you inject the lineup a little bit with funk. Like my lady was at Cervantes last night for a bass music show, and they were playing. She snapped me Holy Mob being played by Supertask. So like that happened, and so like. You start injecting the rosters with our Phonk artists, and then like we get a Phonk around and find out takeover, and like it all just goes from there. And then people are like, oh fuck, there are actually like Phonk labels and Phonk collectives, and like then it can become a whole thing. You get the mob involved, you get the posse involved, you get AP involved, like we get everybody else involved, you know, and then it becomes a big thing. Never say never, but I don't think it's you know, on the horizon this summer.
Yeah, I'd say they pretty much nailed it. I mean, you know, we all love to. We're eager to get stuff going like as much as possible, keep blowing it up as big as we can. But at the same time, you know, we all work, like we have our own bills and stuff to take care of, like funding a tour and a festival. It's definitely not cheap. And if it doesn't do well, you lose a lot of money, which could completely cripple everything that you've been building towards. You know, you blow all your money at once and then you lose all of it. You start from square one. So we're just trying to like be strategic and just like calculate, you know, make sure we're not like just throwing all our money in one hat, if you will.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect analogy, because everybody talks about even Infinite Crew when it came to Dirty and Bright and Ponsuda. It really takes a lot. It does take a toll on a lot of people's pockets as well, because like I said earlier, it's just life in general can get in the way of like something that you want to do on the side, or like just music in general. It's
you know, we love to do it. We're happy to do it. It's not like we're not like upset at taking losses if like it happens, but you know, you got to be strategic about it. You can't just take loss after loss after loss and continue to keep going. So we're just trying to like make the best moves with our money and like get shows going. Like Corey said, we're trying to find people to help like co-promote, so we don't have to pay for absolutely everything every time we go somewhere.
Is the
It's
goat.
Bear Dog.
It's the goat.
I'm gonna keep
Shout
going.
out Bear,
It's the goat.
the cameo.
It's the goat.
Yeah, so if High Times or Raw or any big companies are listening right now, we would love you to sponsor our tour and our festival.
Upco.
Please.
Hi, friends at Upco.
Yeah,
All greens. I'll rep your rosin all day.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely, man. I'm
Should
definitely
we get
excited.
sponsored by Fanta? How do we get a Fanta sponsorship?
That'd be sick.
That'd be
You
awesome.
got Fago, bro.
That's true. Get Fago, bro. We need Fago.
Yeah, man. Last question that I have for everybody. Are there any talks on having more residents be a part of the actual crew?
I mean, like Win said, never say never. I'm gonna be honest with you. 11 people to represent 11 people on the agency, and I just added 8 people on a management side of things with Misfit Media. I'm pretty busy right now. But you know, like we've got kind of like the agency filled with people that are, because you know, as much as we want to add everybody, like all the homies and help everybody, like the agency is really kind of reserved for people that are like playing out of state and like getting paid like a decent amount or at least something to work with, you know what I mean? And you know, then we have the residents, and that's kind of that next tier where we try to get them on as many shows as we can, especially locally. You know, like shout out the residents. Like just got to say that they've like basically been down for whatever we asked them to do, like with minimal to no pay, like playing shows because they're hungry for it, opening the thing up, working towards being better DJs, and all with like the hope that there's more shows happening and they can help build something, you know, and those guys may end up being on the agency at one point, you know. But yeah, I think like pretty good sweet spot right now. And as we're growing, you don't want to spread yourself too thin, because kind of to Devin's point, like you could get ahead of yourself and, you know, kind of like lose some traction, lose some momentum. And I think right now where we're at, we're progressing forward in like at a good rate. And yeah, everybody involved is doing their part. So yeah, pretty happy where we're at right now, but always open to new artists, new ideas, collaborations, all that stuff. People can always just holler at us. Like we're on Instagram, Facebook, we funk around and find out at gmail.com. It's all spelled out one word. Those are all places you can reach out, and if we can do it, we will, man. If not, we love meeting people and making those connections and, you know, planting seeds for the future. So that's kind of where we're at. We're busy, but never too busy to entertain some new offers and new opportunities.
Yeah, man, definitely. So,
Yeah, to add that, like, just because we're not adding people to the agency doesn't mean we're not open to booking people. You know, like we're still down to book people, bring them out for shows and stuff. It's just like the agency, like we got to get all of our agency artists actually playing shows consistently and traveling and doing their thing before we can take on more. Because then, like, if we take on too many people, everybody's just sitting there doing nothing, you know, and then it makes it look like we're not actually trying to take care of our artists and whatnot, which is definitely not what we want, like people perceiving. So it's just like we're right now trying to work on that, just building up the artists that we currently have, getting them like sustainable and whatnot, so that we don't have to put a bunch of effort into their careers and getting them shows. And then maybe later down the road we could look into growing it more if it ever becomes profitable enough, maybe get some more like management team and whatnot, stuff like that. But obviously that's all like a ways down the road.
yeah, specifically like since it's pretty fresh, the entire crew is pretty fresh.
I would say we're only 2 years in, or like 3 years or something like that. We're not, it's still pretty new.
Yeah, so there's a lot of growth, like all you guys said earlier. So
Yeah, man, we're stoked.
Who do you want to see? Because everybody, as much as I can think, everybody has recommended all three of you guys in one call. This is gonna be like the biggest question. Like, who's one person that you guys want to see on a video in general?
Fucking local stranger, bro. Everybody loves local stranger.
Tight. Have you done Backwen already?
Yeah, I could probably do him again, honestly, because that was.
I would say obviously he's always a good one.
Cloudbug, bro.
I would say Cloudbug, if you can get him, that'd be tight. Ponsuda's a good artist to talk to if you haven't gotten with him already.
Mm-hmm.
All good people.
Yeah, bro. Charles Ponsuda would be good if you haven't had him. I don't know if he did the group call with Infinite Wave, but I love hearing his opinion on everything in the scene. Honestly, mad respect.
Honestly, Caliber too.
That's a first.
Caliber's that boy.
That's definitely a first.
Here, Danny, go to our agency and go down the list. And if you haven't had him, you should have him.
Yeah, that's what I actually have. Like, I have most of the residents already on the list that I have for people. So, like, if you guys can actually connect me with them, I'm down to make it happen in general. Because, like like you guys want to do, I want to do the exact same thing. I want to put people on, and I just want to see more shows happen. Like you guys say, it's a time crunch, but it's basically passion versus everything. Strategic losses at the end of the day, I would say, is the best thing.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Hit us up. I can link you up with any of the guys on our crew, and we've got connections with people that aren't. So whatever we can do to help, man. Like I said at the beginning, we appreciate you creating this platform and allowing us to come on and pushing the scene, because it takes everybody doing everything. So big up.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's all the questions that I have. Are there any questions that you want to ask me? Because I know there's probably a ton of people, not a ton of people, but I always want to ask people, like, is there ways that I can improve, or like any questions you guys want to ask me in general?
Where's the fire crab cakes, bro? We're coming from Baltimore. Take us out to eat. Keep us away from those bridges.
Definitely, I'll definitely do the second thing. But I actually work on that Thursday. I'm probably gonna get off like really early to like hang out with you guys. Like, if you guys can actually get me backstage or anything like that, like, I'd definitely be appreciative of just doing that. Hopefully I can bring a camera in and just record everything, and I could just pass it around so you guys can record like snippets of that show.
Yeah, man. Bring the camera, bring whatever. We can get you all the creds. Just let us know. I'll be in town the day before, I think, actually. So we'll link up. But yeah, shit, I got to get to this next call, boys. I've double booked myself. But if that's pretty much it, I feel good about it. And I again appreciate you having us on, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys for doing this. Like, you guys already know I'm always here to support you guys, because I love this genre, and what you guys are doing is like a godsend at this point.
Thanks,
Doing what we can.
Man. Appreciate you, bro. All right, boys, I'm gonna get going. I'll hit you up about Dallas and Fort Collins Airbnbs and all that stuff. One love.
Word.
All right.
Word.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty.
you guys got any questions before like I head off?
No, I just was gonna say what Corey said. Basically, I appreciate you having us out, like doing this with us and whatnot, trying to push what we're doing with us.
Yeah, definitely, man. And
Anybody, like I was saying earlier, anybody who's willing to like work together in this, like, that shit's valuable right now in the early stages of what we're trying to do. Like, we gotta all work together as a team instead of work against each other.
Yeah, I feel like, if we, cement ourselves as like, the people to go to for, this aspect of the genre of the live piece, and then like, being able to book artists, like Corey was saying earlier, it's the missing link piece, it just fits. Like, I think we're in a budding place, and it'll all really come together. And like, it's grassroots, and like all the videos and the interviews and stuff that you do, are gonna get, not that they're not getting clicks now, but the clicks that they're gonna get, like years from now, once this shit is literally legendary, like, and people want to hear the origin stories, people want to hear how this shit got started, and it's like, we're just chopping it up, like
smoking blunts, making a beat.
Yeah, literally, like,
just a bunch of dudes at the end of the day.
Yeah,
That's basically
yeah,
man.
Straight up.
But I appreciate you guys. Like, I'm like Corey said, I think he said it once or twice, a fan before everything. Like, if it wasn't for being a fan, definitely wouldn't be doing this. Don't get me wrong, I'm nervous as shit every single time I do one of these videos, but like, I'm gonna try to keep my composure as much as I possibly can. I'm always gonna get better. That's just one thing I just want to do with every single one of these videos, just hanging out with you guys, just talking to you guys. I just want to get better and just help other people grow, that are just passionate about like what I'm also passionate about, which is just the scene in general.
Yeah, man, keep doing it because you definitely have the platform for sure, and you're building it yourself just like we are. And like, it's the handshake emoji, like, it's the it's the those moments that can, connecting the bridge. Oh, so that's probably a really shitty pun.
Specifically, just right now. Any other day would have been so much better for that.
Sorry, Baltimore. Connecting those two dots, it can help uplift each other mutually, which is really cool. So
yeah. Also, I was gonna say, are there gonna be any more merch drops? That's the one I forgot to ask, because I really want to have. Or like another.
I mean,
shirt.
I want to do flat bills for the summer. Corey wants to do dad caps because he's a dad cap guy. I think we're gonna try to do like some type of seasonal thing, but I don't know. Corey does kind of have the plug on that as far as getting that done, and he's got a lot going on. So, but we are. I don't know if Devin, if you have any input, but I don't know.
I wouldn't say there's any like specific plans in place right now, but obviously we want to make more merch. Like that is a goal of ours, and we will figure it out. There will be more in the future. There's just no like set plans as to what's happening or what's going to be made currently.
Yeah, like I'd like to make, like a fucking smoking accessories, like fucking lighters, just dumb shit, right? Like rolling trays, like fucking branded papers, stupid shit, knick-knacky, kitschy shit, but like it kind of goes along with the fucking the brand thing, So like I think that could be cool too. We just need to find, people to do that, distributors to make that type of shit. So
yeah, definitely. Well, I'm definitely excited that I got to ask that question because I definitely do want to get another shirt. Like if you guys actually have them.
I think we should try. I'll try to lightly pat Corey on the butt, literally and figuratively. But I'll try to encourage him to make some more merch for Baltimore, and maybe we can bring some out for you.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you guys for doing this again. Like I'm probably like a broken record when I say that multiple times, but like I said,
we appreciate you having us out. It's mutual.
Yeah, definitely, man.